Creative Soul. Hello, I'm your host, and my name is Pollyanna Blanco, and I am a sacred self-care coach and a creative midwife, helping busy light workers care as much for themselves as they care for the world while they're birthing their dreams. And today's episode is all about moving your body, how moving your energy with Chakradance create supports an illumined world. And I am getting a little tongue-tied here. That always happens when I get excited because the energy starts moving so quickly through me. And this month is all about movement. My beloved teacher Shri and Kira were just talking about that the other day, and it really resonated with me. And it's what inspired me to speak to this topic of Chakradance and movement and how it all contributes to an illumined world. And I'm going to be inviting you as well too in the chat to share what moves you, because right now, and this is something that is, I'm going to share a little bit of my backstory because I feel it's really going to also illumine how movement and working with the chakras have, and just the energy being in the energy body, have come together for me in my own life. And in the words of Archangel Zadkiel right now, from the Galactic Encyclopedia, Chapter 10, there is this message for today and this is from Shri and Kira's Mastery Ascension app, that literally this is the time of great reunification and expansion. So what I love about Archangel Zadkiel's message is that movement is all about that in-breath and that out-breath. We're constantly moving our energy, whether we are sitting still or physically moving our bodies. And yet, in my own experience, and I'm sure in yours as well too, in our collective experience, as we not only, it begins with moving the breath, and then as we move the breath and we begin to move our bodies, wow, magic and miracles can truly happen. In my own journey along the way, I've been noticing, and I invite you to notice in your own journey too, what has been revealed to you through movement, is that when I started to consciously move my energy, it really, really, really powerfully moved my world. We move throughout our days in so many ways. And a lot of it is wash, rinse, repeat, repetitive, sometimes even autopilot movements and behaviors. Hence those moments when we might bump into the corner of a table. I used to sometimes do that. I still sometimes do that. And when I do, it's a friendly reminder to shift out of that distraction mode, is what I want to say. When I notice that happening, there's a disconnect between and a misalignment between my presence and literally being here now in the present moment and being elsewhere, oftentimes in my head or in my mind. And so it's a gentle and sometimes uncomfortable reminder from the universe to get back in flow. And so it started back with the very first twirls in my mother's womb to music from outside, that I started to move to music, to frequency, to sound. After I saw the Nutcracker, I remember as a little girl, that's when I really, really felt that I wanted to move on my tippy toes through life. And I started to study dance, and I studied dance for ballet specifically for 17 years with a little bit of modern dance thrown in. When I was 17 years old, I loved every moment of it. I went to this summer intensive ballet school that was connected to a company called Ballet Yorkin here in Toronto. And it was it just it took me away. It took me to a whole other place inside of myself. I remember I was dancing from 9 to 6 every day. We had the option of staying from 3 to 6, which I totally lapped up. And basically danced, eat, slept, and danced, eat, slept, and danced. And it just, I couldn't quite articulate it at that point in my life the way maybe I would express it today. But that was a period of time in my life that was so rich and so beautiful. And then I got into university, and I noticed that I was so focused on being successful in the way that I've been raised to understand success. I was diligent as a student, and I got so into my head that I literally stopped my dance training, my formal dance training. I did go out occasionally with friends to dance, and I really enjoyed that. But what started to happen gradually and intensify was that dance started falling away from my life. I found myself sitting a lot. I found myself literally living in my head and reading. I was an English Lang and Lit major with art history, and as much as I enjoyed it in one sense, I spent so much time just living in my head until I got to a point where I had finished both university, my 2 degrees in my BA, my on BA, and then my teacher's college training, and I was newly married. And I just felt that I needed something to bring me back into my body again. I'd had one brief encounter with dance, a dance movement healing sort of embodiment practice at the university. And I remember I had almost what I would call in hindsight a healing crisis, although I didn't understand it at the time, to the point where I literally took the public transit home in the wrong direction because I was so discombobulated. I didn't understand what was going on. In the midst of the session, I burst into tears, and the lovely gentleman facilitating it just, for whatever reason, wasn't able to, you know, he actually served me really well because it served as a catalyst. It just in that then moment, he just sort of wished me well and sent me off into the night. And when I got to the point in my first marriage where I realized I was starting to feel this disconnect from my feelings, I was sort of so numbed out by doing all the things I had believed I thought I needed to do and be, and feeling this strong disconnection from myself. And also, my father in law at the time, too, had been recently diagnosed with bone cancer, and I was starting to open to my spiritual curiosity about life after death, which set me on a whole other trajectory of, learning about how we're so much more than just a physical being, and really reconnecting with a sense of myself as a spiritual being through what I started to explore through reading a lot of books. I went back to dance in the form of flamenco dance because I had been away from ballet for so long, for about 7 years. And I love the idea of flamenco because it was so in the ground. It was so about connecting and sort of literally stomping my way and claiming I'm here. I deserve to take up space. It was very root chakra. And then what emerged after 3 years of flamenco was a pivotal moment. We've all had those moments where someone just shares something in the moment that really captures our attention and our awareness in a way that just realigns us. It's almost like a chiropractic adjustment for the soul. That's what it felt like for me. I was literally, it sounds so, so funny, but I was literally going, I think, for a waxing appointment for my legs. And I happened to mention my passion for dance that was reemerging in my life. And literally what happened was I shared this with the esthetician, and she mentioned this ballroom studio, and one thing led to another. And before I knew it, I was doing my very first ballroom dance competition. And then I spent 13 years on that journey doing Latin dance, because again, it was this idea of connecting to my sacral chakra and also being grounded in my root chakra. And then the performance piece and even the competition piece was my solar plexus chakra that was starting to heal and starting to want to not only take up space, but be able to, you know, feel that I had a presence, that I was worthy of being on stage. And although in the midst of being dancing in that fishbowl, I didn't fully see it, what also started to emerge was a beautiful book about this whole journey about getting in rhythm with your soul. And when I reflect back on it now, it was at a time in my life when so much was going on. It was a really turbulent time, and my writing and my dancing were balm for my weary soul. My spirituality was expanding and awakening, and it was the movement of dancing. It was the movement of the 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 recognition of the spiritual awareness that was moving my energy beyond my definition of who I thought myself to be. It was that whole experience of coming home to myself, and it all happened through moving my energy, and it happened very gradually. One layer was peeled off the onion after another. There was a lot of self-doubt, hesitancy, fear, driving forward with the parking brake on, proverbially, so to speak. I remember that feeling. It was like a lot of yes but energy, fighting with myself. And I knew that there was a book inside of me, and this book, In Rhythm with Your Soul, emerged. I almost saw myself as a potter with a lump of clay on a potter's wheel, and I was just playing with it and shaping it. And so I would start it and then stop it, start it and stop it. So there was a movement there. There was a movement of beginning to follow the inspiration, and then recoiling in self-doubt, hesitancy, and fear, and just then feeling the inner nudging again and wanting to step forward and doing so, and then something else pulling me back and out of alignment with that path. And so I was in this perfect storm of so many movable pieces in my life conspiring to expand me beyond all that I had been programmed to believe that I was, that I thought I should be, and that I didn't even know I was going to become. And after my book came out, one of the people, Mark Metz, who had very kindly done a review of the book, he literally, I was following him on Facebook, I think it was. There was this thing that kept popping up in my feed about Chakradance, and my book had been about, I'd used the chakra system as a map for the creative journey, for helping people to navigate the creative journey and not throw in the towel prematurely, as I had been struggling against doing with myself in the process of not only writing the book, but giving myself permission to continue dancing when another part of me was telling me I had to get on with the more serious parts of my own life. And so I'm going into a lot of detail today just to paint a picture, because I'm just trusting in my sharing of all of this with anyone who might be watching live or on the replay, that this message of movement is unique to every single one of us, and yet collectively at the same time, in that larger sense of the oneness that we all share together. As each of us moves our energy, we move our world. And when I discovered Chakradance, and I began to really explore it through my own training and discover how some of the things that I had been seeking through the ballroom dancing, one of them was to dance like no one was watching, and to feel this touch into something ephemeral and anchor it in my body, and feel the sense of coming home to myself on the deepest possible level. Chakra dance as a process helped me to begin to really recognize that on a whole new level, that felt very validating, very expansive, and it just felt so perfectly in alignment. And so from there, moving forward, I've been a Chakradance facilitator now for close to 10 years. I start to lose track of the time. It all morphs together. My book came out in 2014, just after I'd won a major dance competition and I sort of started shifting away from the competitive edge as my spirituality emerged. I was always more a performer at heart than a competitor. And then Chakradance presented itself to me, and this whole idea of marrying and unifying the spiritual with the physical through movement started birthing me. And this is why I'm here now sharing this message with you, because movement is powerful. And I'm going to share with you now just some very powerful words about Chakradance that the founder, Natalie Southgate, she's from Australia, shares on her website. And it's a bit of a longer share, but I just, when I touched into it again this morning, I just felt so profoundly guided to share her powerful words, because I feel in some ways she can express what I feel in my heart and in my body. I've walked beside her as over the past decade as her own offering has emerged and expanded, and I feel so blessed to really share her words right now, because it encapsulates all that I know have experienced and believe this process to be. After I've shared her words with you, because I just am trusting that it will ignite something in you. Maybe it's a remembrance, an affirmation, a remembering, or an invitation to begin to move your energy more. I'm going to offer a very simple taste of Chakradance with you. It's a Chakradance prayer, dancing prayer for peace, because we are dancing our lives into being. I felt that for a very long time. And right now, in this beautiful month of October, where it's all about divine justice, harmony, and balance is dynamic. Even when we're sitting still, our blood is still coursing through our veins, and we're still breathing. And there's just so much moving. And when we can harmonize with that interconnection of movement and allow it to expand outward, I feel like we're really honoring the words of Archangel Zadkiel today about reunification, coming home to oneself through sacred embodiment, and then expanding that beautiful reconnection, remembrance, alignment, at oneness within, to expand and share with the at oneness in the collective, and collectively begin to move the energy, to begin to midwife and co-create and birth the beautiful new world that is emerging through all of us, especially when we have this divine expanded presence that we're embracing and we're dancing with as well. So these are Natalie Southgate's words, and they're beautiful. She says that in recent years, there has been an explosion of New Age practices, many of which draw roots from ancient philosophies. One can find varying types of meditation, psychic development, spiritual development, and channeling, guide and angel workshops, to name just a few. The aim of many of these practices is to raise consciousness, connect with the spiritual world, and transcend the physical. Having personally explored many of these practices, I have achieved great rewards, and in the process have experienced a reality that often appears to be of another world. My struggle in hindsight has been in bringing this other world back into the physical aspect of myself. I felt the time had come to embody some of these remarkable experiences. Reflecting back on my life, the times when I have felt most alive and in touch with myself, my true self, are the times when I have been moving my body through dance. Not the times when my childhood dancing teacher was instructing me to move my body this way or that, but the times when I really let go. I let the music enter my body and moved in an authentic way. Donald Winnicott, a renowned psychoanalyst, describes the true self as being the source of all spontaneity and creativity, and it was the self that was calling for my attention. Marion Woodman, a Jungian psychoanalyst and author, says, "Matter without spirit is a corpse. Spirit without matter is a ghost." I believe that when matter and spirit move together in a rhythmic dance, the experience is one of feeling truly alive. This merging of matter and spirit allows one to embody consciousness, embody spirit, and manifest some of the otherworldliness in a physical and concrete way. In order to embody consciousness, we need a map to discover what it is exactly that we are trying to embody and how. The map that I've been drawn to work with is the map of the chakra system, an ancient India yoga system discovered over 4,000 years ago. The chakra system contains within it 7 major chakras, each acting as an energetic gateway, allowing universal energy to flow in and out of our systems. Each chakra corresponds with particular body organs and reflects an aspect of consciousness on an emotional, psychological, and spiritual level. Each chakra also has its own vibrational frequency, as well as an attributed element, archetype, animal, planet, etc. These can all be used as pathways into the chakras, enabling us to connect more deeply with the energies existing within each one. There are countless books and texts detailing the chakras, but it became my aim to take the basic map and connect with the chakras in a physical way, thereby experiencing the various aspects of consciousness reflected in each chakra in the body. I wanted to bring the sacredness of ancient philosophies into a modern culture that appears to be crying out for healing of the mind, body, and spirit. This was the birth of Chakradance, a healing dance practice that uses specific music and spontaneous dance to balance the chakras. Chakradance music is modern world music, which has been created with the intention of using sound as a healing force. Music has incredible therapeutic powers and is considered to be the oldest form of healing. In many ancient cultures, music was both composed and performed with the intention of promoting physical health, freeing emotions, entering into altered states of consciousness, and ultimately of healing the soul. Music was considered sacred and magical. Long before psychotherapy existed, music played the role of healer, doctor, and therapist. Music plays a major role in balancing the chakras. Musical vibrations can be tuned to the 7 chakras, each of which has its own vibrational frequency. In Chakradance, we have woven the ancient techniques with the advanced technology available today. The pure tones of crystal bowls pulse throughout the music and release a vibrational sound field that is an essential ingredient of each dance. The desire to dance is deeply ingrained in the human psyche. As a healing art form, dance can be traced back thousands of years. In ancient cultures, dance was used in celebratory, ritualistic, and spiritual ways. Early people danced the shifting of the seasons, the waxing and waning of the moon, and the transitional moments in life, birth, death, and rites of passage. As a metaphor, dance symbolizes the rhythm of the universe, divine play, the eternal dance of life. As one of the most evolved healing art forms, dance weaves together all aspects of human existence. Chakra dance is a healing dance practice. It's unique because it uses spontaneous dance for the purpose of healing. There's no right or wrong way to do chakra dance. It's simply a journey of self-discovery. Each chakra is explored through specific music, guided imagery, and your own free improvised dance done with your eyes softly closed. And this begins to activate your inner experiences. It's almost like entering into a waking dream. You may see images in your mind's eye while you are dancing or gain insights. You might also experience feelings, emotions, or physical sensations. Classes comprised of a small group of people are held in candlelit spaces. Although music and dance form the primary focus, sessions also include working with elements and colors and short meditations. Chakradance puts you in touch with the sacred, both within yourself and within the universe. It helps you connect with your soul. Dancing the 7 chakras is like dancing into 7 different worlds, each with their own lessons, meanings, and stories. They are all uniquely yours to explore and enjoy. And I'm so happy and grateful to the words of Natalie Southgate and for her trusting her inner vision and for really bringing and birthing this beautiful process of chakra dance out into the world. And it is a very powerful practice. It is one that I've witnessed in myself. Having danced most of my life, I still had struggled up until the point where I discovered chakra dance with feeling self-conscious. I was still connected to this inner perfectionistic part of myself I had a very strong inner critic that really, scrutinized me. And I wasn't aware of the mirror in the dance studio as being a soul mirror. It was just a very critical mirror. It was a soul mirror. I just hadn't made that connection yet at that point in my life. And chakra dance helped me, as well as the teachings of Shri and Kira have helped me as well too, enormously. And the other day, that's why I got so excited when I heard Kira and Shri inviting us to dance and to talk about movement this month, because it just was like adding fuel to the inner passion and fire in me about this movement practice now. I've also witnessed incredible aha moments, awarenesses, shifts, physical experiences with the beautiful creative souls I've been blessed to hold workshop experiences for. There are 2 that I really profoundly stand out of so many. One was a woman who attended a workshop who I didn't know at the time had been suffering from vertigo. And after she danced the root chakra, she shared a little later on in the group, when we do have some sharing, that it was the first time in her life since she'd had the vertigo where she felt stable on her feet. She didn't have the sensation that she was going to get dizzy or needed to sit down. And having touched into that experience, even as she shared it, I could feel her energy was really shifting, and even as she spoke. And that touched something deep inside of me too. And it was a beautiful soul mirror to remind me that sometimes it just starts with the very first step. A lot of people are afraid to get onto the dance floor, don't see themselves as dancers. And what I love about chakra dance is it's not about any particular type of dance or steps that you have to do. It's about just showing up for you with love, with presence, with curiosity. Everything that happens in a chakra dance experience is for your highest good and for your growth, and it's gentle. I've also witnessed a lot of clients who are dancing internally and there isn't a lot of movement happening on the outside. That is quite common. And especially when I've hosted 9-week journeys and people have stayed the course over a period of time as opposed to just doing a one-off workshop, the beautiful thing that starts to emerge is how the movement expands. People begin to feel a sense of safety and peace at being in their body, which shifts into a love. There's a forgiveness that I experience, a self-forgiveness that I experience from being so hard on myself. I was so hard on myself in some dance performances that I blanked out. I remembered one dance performance where I was going through that very tumultuous time in my personal life, and creating was so much more fun than, focusing on some of the things that were way beyond my control. So I gave my whole heart, my whole body, my whole mind, my whole spirit, my everything to preparing for this one dance competition because it really nourished me. And yet I had put so much pressure on myself at the same time too, that after making it to the finals, after being with 28 different couples, in the last 15 seconds of a minute and 30-second routine, I went blank. I literally went blank. I disassociated, I think, from my body. I fled my body, and I lost my anchor in it. And this is where I share this too, because the next client that I had the blessing to work with, and when I say client, this was someone I worked with out of pure sheer joy of wanting to share Chakradance. This wasn't a paying client. This was just someone that I felt very strongly guided by my soul, heart, and spirit to work with. A dear friend of mine who had experienced during the pandemic an accident, and as a result became a quadriplegic, and was very open to energy healing, energy practices. And we'd have these great park, podcast type chats where we'd sit with other friends and talk about what was happening, and creative solutions and possibilities. I just admired and loved so much that he was not closing those possibilities off for himself. And so I had learned from Natalie Southgate that Chakradance has even been used in hospitals for people who are bedridden. And so I offered the invitation to him, would he like to try a Chakradance session, a root chakra session? And he said yes. And the experience was profound for both of us. It was just discovery, 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 as Martha Graham would say. And literally, his comments at the end of the session was, I didn't want the session to end. What touched my heart and soul so much is that even when it came to the part where we often do a sort of a bit of a mandala artwork, I invited him to imagine images in his mind's eye. And what came up was profound, and yet it was gentle. And there was even some spontaneous twitching happening in his feet by the end of the session. And so I just share these experiences with you, as well as some of my own mixed in, because there is so much inside of every single one of us. And when we unify it, when we reunify it through movement, through conscious movement, starting with the breath, starting with our mastery presence awareness, and expanding it out from there, we move through the world healed, transformed, expanded, in touch with our inner riches, and it's beautiful. And we co-create from that beautiful, aligned, connected space within ourselves. Even if I've had a long day at work, I come home and I move to music, and it allows me to transition from where I was, perhaps getting into my head or having my energy tied up in another place with other people's energy in a way that was starting to drain my energy. Movement is a way to uncoil and unravel and move into that sense, that felt sense of my own inner dance, so that I can come home to myself and then move forward with greater clarity, compassion, love, peace, joy from there. And to be completely transparent too, even before the pandemic, there were some as there were for so many people, some very challenging things that happened in my own life. And there was this clamping down happening in me. I knew how important movement was in my life, and yet there was this ego resistance to it. And in reclaiming that true soul alignment, that desire to live in rhythm with my soul in every possible way, I've recommitted on a deeper level to dancing the dance. And I invite you to do the same in your own life. So right now, I'm going to share with you a short little taste of a beautiful dancing prayer for peace from Chakradance. It's just to give you a bit of an experiential sense of what chakra dance can feel like, be like, look like. If you're still wondering maybe a little bit about what it is, because I know that I get asked that question a lot. I don't really get it. What is chakra dance? And after I share that with you, I'm going to share one more thing with you before we close. And then I'm going to also check the chat right now before I share the chakra dance, just a curiosity, just to see if there's anyone here. I think there is a message. Oh my goodness, there are messages, and I'm going to pop my glasses on here so I can see them. Okay, Gina, thank you so much. Okay, good morning to you too. And Seeker of Truth, thank you. Thank you. Thank you to both of you for watching. This is wonderful. I hope you enjoy the Chakra Dance dancing prayer for peace. And I'm just going to shift over to sharing my screen now. I really hope the music comes through. This is my first time screen sharing in this on this platform, so I'm going to just trust. I'm going to mute myself so that hopefully that will work better. I don't know if it's letting me mute myself. Well, maybe if both of you can share in the chat afterwards, just about a minute long, if you can hear the sound in this, that would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. And just going to check in the chat, were you able to see that and hear that? Secret Truth and Gina? Okay, I hope it played through. I'm taking a leap of faith here and trusting the tech. Well, I will discover if it worked in the replay, and if for any reason it didn't, I will iron out the kinks and share it another time. Right now, I just want to invite. Oh, you didn't hear or see anything. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Gina. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link. Just give me one moment in the chat so that way I can invite you to watch it on your own. Let me just pull it up here. Okay. Actually, I don't know if I can even do that. I had a different tab pulled up because let's see. Well, I think what I'll do here's what I'll do. I'm going to put my email in the chat. It's info@PollyannaBlanco. My glasses back on here. There we go. And I will pop that in here. And if you want to send me an email, I will be happy to send that to you. And I think there's a typo in that too. My apologies. Yeah, info@PollyannaBlanco.com. Let me pop that in there again. It's all good. There we go. That one looks much better. There you go. Okay, so here is my my email address, and also it's listed below too, but I just wanted to make it as easy as possible for you, and I'll be happy to send you the link. And I'm so happy that you're here too, and that this topic captured your attention, because right now I've been reflecting on this whole topic of how this offering can really serve people right now. I know there's so much going on in the world. There's a lot of fear, and at the same time, there's an amazing, beautiful, expansive opportunity to walk through that fear into the truth of who we are, into remembering and really embodying that truth. And it really starts with bringing our awareness back inside of ourselves so that we can begin to dance with that truth of who we are and give it permission to speak, be seen, be felt, be heard, be acknowledged, be validated. And then we shift our frequency. When we shift our frequency, then we as we shift our inner world frequency, we shift the frequency in our outer world. And I've noticed in my own life, as I've done that, that the experiences that once had some emotional Velcro for me either don't have that emotional Velcro for me, in that I'm just drawn to different experiences, different people, different places. And if certain moments come up where there is emotional Velcro, that I am able to have a way to dance through them, to move through them. Chakradance is one of those important processes. So just before I close up for today, what I have felt hand on heart guided to share as a sacred self-care coach with all of you is to bring back my Reboot Your Base Chakra uh, program. It's a very good way to get a taste of Chakradance, to experience it over distance. And I'm going to be sharing more information about how you can join me in our next small group for that. So if you want to send me an email, I'll keep you in the loop. I'll add you to my mailing list with your permission, and then you can learn more about it. And if you'd also like to get a copy of my book, I'm happy to send you one, author signed. A long time ago, I pulled it off the big Amazonian place because that was an interesting dance. And now I just, work as an author directly with people. I do have it in a few bookstores that support local creators because I want to support them too. And I just unplugged from that platform of selling my book. There might be someone out there who's reselling it on that platform, but it's not me. And I will not anymore. So, anyways, hand on heart, I'm going to invite us all to close with 3 deep Ave Sa breaths. And if this is a new breath for you, this is a beloved teaching from Master Lady Kira Ra and Sri Ram Ka and the Essene teachings, Archangel Zadkiel. I'm going to invite you to place your hands on your heart. Feel the warmth of your heart on your hands and the warmth of your heart of your hands on your heart. That's a little bit of me thrown in with the Ave Sa breath, or the collective we, because we're co-creating this together. And just invite you to begin to breathe in Ave, which is I'm opening to my divine mastery presence. And on the Sa, surrendering to a deep trust in that presence to be here now with you and allowing a smile to form on your face. So, Ave, Sa, Ave, Sa, Ave, Sa. And on that, I invite you to get up and dance. Dance barefoot in nature if you can. Dance in the shower, but be careful. Put on your favorite tunes. Just move your body. Listen to your body. Stand up. Feel that connection. Move your breath through your body. Dance your breath through your body. Just move. And I wish you a wonderful, blessed week filled with inspiration, many, many blessings of creative abundance, and just joy, joy, joy juice. And together we are so much better. I love you all for being here. Thank you so much for watching, either live or on the replay. And I look forward to being back here again next Sunday with all of you. Lots of love and light. Be well, beautiful, creative souls. And let's stay connected.